Playboy. Saying what's good to Anna. You are here. Hello, Darth Vader. What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. I appreciate you. So, a quick thing. I am streaming on multiple platforms. I'm streaming on my phone through Instagram. You guys get to see my beautiful face. If you wish to see the artwork that I'm doing, which I'm going to show really quick to the folks on Instagram, which is this Blastoise that I'm working on tonight. I'm going to do the gray tones on Blastoise because I'm doing a series of these Pokemon on these artist tiles that I have. If you want to see that artwork, you can go ahead over to my Twitch, the YouTube channel, or my Facebook, and the art will be shown over there. Okay, but you guys here on Instagram get to see my beautiful face. Okay, so this here, real quick again for the folks on the gram. This is the Pikachu that I did. This is all done in gray tone, so I'm putting these up in my Etsy store. For anybody that's a Pokemon fan and wants to get their hands on one of those, if that is what you fancy. I'm going to close the door really quick because the folks I live with is making noise, and I can't have their noise on the stream. So give me a quick second. I'm sweating like a pig in a slaughterhouse. I'm still getting used to being here in the South here. Okay. So before I get started, can everybody hear me? Instagram, can you guys hear me? Thumbs up, clap or a wave or a yes will suffice. Let's see here. All right, that's a yes. Excellent. Good. Thank you. And is everything of a good volume? The music's not overbearing. Nothing like that is too crazy, I hope. Okay. Say what's up to Jay Munchies. What's up to Darth Vader? All right. I'm going to exit out of these pages so that okay. All right. So we're going to get started. So again, thank you guys for showing up tonight. My name is Ian Walker. I am a freelance artist. You are here with me on the Chillin' Sketch podcast, or Chillin' Sketch if you're over on Twitch watching me right now. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. This is the third episode of the podcast where I'm going to be talking about all things art. If you guys have any questions or concerns or anything like that you want me to discuss on the podcast, I'm more than happy to do so. And in the meantime, every episode when I draw, I'm going to be doing these, doing some kind of drawing of some sort. So I will do the drawing, and every week I will be talking about the winner of giving away one of these drawings. If there's not a winner, it will go into my Etsy shop for sale. Now, last week, for everyone else who's watching, I had done the Superman. No one left a comment. No one contributed. So this is going to be going into my Etsy store for sale. I might sell these for $40 a pop in that store. So if anybody wants that, it's up for grabs in the store, along with the other original art that I'm creating. All right. So tonight I'm going to be working on Blastoise, and I'm doing something different because I'm doing the Pokemon in gray tones. And so I'm kind of, this is my first time, doing this, so I'm hoping it turns out right. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to do a series of these here. This is not one that will be given away. I'm just going to pretty much put this one up in the store. So what I'm doing here is I am going with a W0 for you guys on Instagram. W0. Let's go like this, like that. On the shell. I was inking this earlier, so this has had plenty of time to dry, so there should be no reason that this thing will start bleeding on me. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. What's up, Jason? Welcome to Chillin' Sketch. What I wanted to talk with you guys tonight was something that came as a bit of a shock to me. So I am a freelance artist. I'm a comic artist. I do illustrations, things like that. And one of the projects that I'm working on right now is a comic book. It's a comic book. It's a superhero comic book series. And I just finished the script for the first issue. Super happy about it. Really love where it's going. I'm really excited about the trajectory where it's going to go. I have, what's good, Isaiah? Welcome to the gram. I'm excited about where I'm going to take the story. So what I did today was I went on Twitter. I went to go, kind of look around and see. I'm going to be drawing some of the book myself, of course. But what I also wanted to do for the reason of, networking, getting to know other artists, things like that, was also scout out other talent as well. I went on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, ArtStation, DeviantArt, all of those. And I went to try to look for someone that to look at just some sequential art, just to be like, hey, I want to see what talents and what skills they have. I was floored on Twitter with the amount of artists who legitimately did not have any kind of portfolio to their name as artists. And guys, they call themselves professional artists. They say they're pros. Now, that's like a basic rule that I know of in the art world, that you need to have a portfolio, some kind of body of work that you need to present to a company or another creator that wants to see your work. It came as a huge surprise to me that the majority of people that I contacted, that came into contact with me on Twitter, did not at all have a portfolio. None of them had an Instagram. None of them had anything. They were 100% content with spamming me with pictures. And I'm telling them, I don't want you to spam pictures to me. I just want you to send me a portfolio link of what you have so that I can look at it with your contact information. If I find something that I like, I'll give you a call or I'll contact you. And what blew my mind even more so was the attitude that I got in return. I don't have a portfolio yet. And some of these people are web designers, mind you. Well, first off, the people that contacted me were actually graphic designers. They weren't really comic book artists. They may have drawn some pictures, but they weren't really comic book artists. So these were people that were wanting to just try out, give themselves a shot, probably to add to their repertoire, and do that. But none of these people had artist portfolios, and these are people who've had supposedly web designers and things like that. Now, if you're a web designer, if you're a legit 100% pure graphic designer, web designer, and you don't have a website or a portfolio that shows off your work, to me, that is 100% unacceptable. Like, that is not okay. Like, what? Come on. Like, what are you doing? And so then when I would go and ask them, I said, hey, you say you're spamming me pictures, but I need to see a portfolio. They'd be like, I don't have that. I just gave you my work. Excuse me? Like, don't get attitude. You came to my DMs. You came and told me that you wanted to work for me. That's like me going to get a job at the hospital and telling them I'm not going to wear scrubs. I'm not going to wear any protective gear while I'm at the hospital. I'm going to just come in sweats because I don't have scrubs. I was like, excuse me? And some of these people, real talk, just got ignored. I didn't even bother to reply to them. So I say this, I talk about this experience to say this, guys. It is so important as an artist. It was good for me to be on the other side for once, to see the other side of the whole equation. Because I didn't have a portfolio for the longest time, admittedly. When I do graphic design on the side, I don't have that big a portfolio for my graphic design stuff. But when it comes to my cartoon artwork and things like that, most definitely, I have a portfolio. I have some work that I can show somebody, whether it's I'm carrying it with me or or a site that I can refer them to. What's up? That I can refer them to so that they can see what kind of work that I do. And don't you dare get an attitude with somebody if they're asking and requesting something of you. You don't get to have an attitude. Don't do that. You're not prepared. You're not prepared. So you don't get to call the shots if you come over there wanting to get work, but you don't have the necessary, materials that is needed to be prepared to do the work, or to show the person that you can even do the work. I just found it mind-boggling of the audacity of attitude these people had when you would tell them that. And some would just outright just dismiss it, just like, oh, okay, yeah, like you didn't know what you're talking about. It was interesting. It was interesting. But it was so much so, it happened with so many people. And it's funny because before I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about tonight. I don't know what I want to say or whatever. But when this was happening to me today, I was like, there it is. This is what I'm talking about. Because guys, it was ridiculous. It made no sense. I can't fathom how you could call yourself a professional artist but don't have anything to prove that professionalism to anybody. You're leaving money on the table when you're not prepared. You are leaving money on the table, and then these are the same ones who want to complain when they're not getting jobs or something, And this is not saying that I'm the best artist or whatever. I'm not saying that. I think what just got to me more was the audacity of attitude that some of these folks had when you would call them out on that. Because it's important. I mean, don't you guys think that would be, important, especially if you're an artist? Come on, guys. Come on. So there were a lot of artists that did that. And, it was just a bad pool of artists. And Twitter's infested with furry artists and furry artists and anime artists. The comic book that I'm working on is a book. It's a traditional, Western comic book style. And I'm open to other styles too. I am. But I want to see what kind of work that is. And everyone that was sending me something was art that was all furries, and which are anthropomorphic animals, which is, humanoid animals, which is that's fine. Um, I don't know. I just thought it was weird. And like, again, I have no problem with furries and whatever. To each their own. Not role playing games where that's a thing. But there were a lot of people who, one, didn't have a portfolio, and then there was the people who weren't, just real talk, just weren't good artists, and would get upset when you gave them, advice or tools on what they needed to do as an artist. When you're trying to help them to understand how important it is to have that. So on this show, I want to give art advice. I want to give good information. And one of those things, guys, that I want to tell you as artists, if you're looking back at this later on, have a portfolio ready for someone to see. A creator, a writer, a comic book company does not want to hear your mouth at all. They want your work to speak for itself. Okay, they want to see that cohesive body of work to show that you could do the certain thing that they're specifically asking for. They don't want you to spam their phones or their emails. We don't want you to be telling us, "Oh, I don't have that, but I can do this and I can do this. I've done this and I've done that." That doesn't matter. What you say doesn't matter. We want to see what you can do. And if you don't have anything to present that, you're leaving money on the table. You're setting yourself up for failure. Straight up. Straight up. And finally, being on the receiving end of that, of me being the one who is looking for someone to hire for this reason, it was a complete eye opener for me. It was a very huge eye opener for me, and in fact, inspired me to get my stuff ready and get my stuff, even more prepared. One of the things I want to do is I want to do comic book art. I want to do comic book covers, and I need to have drawings that show that I can do comic book covers. Not just say that I could do comic book covers. You know what I mean? I have to show that proof. So I myself have to go and do some preparation and some work to get that done. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. When it comes to creating a portfolio, best thing you can do, I mean, it doesn't have to be fancy. It really doesn't. It just needs to be, it could be on Tumblr. It's like that photo sharing thing, website. It could be Tumblr. A problem a lot of us artists have is that we want everything to be perfect. We want everything to be just right. The problem with that is again, we end up leaving money on the table because we feel like we're not ready, or we want everything to be perfect, and we miss out on so many opportunities because of it. It takes time to grow. Okay, it takes time to grow. It takes time to get better. It takes time to get work. But if a creator or a company can't see that you can at least do the work, what's the point? What's the point of your website? Waiting on your perfect website, waiting on your perfect whatever. You have nothing to show for what you're doing. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So just, keep that in mind, fellow artists. Get your portfolios ready. Get your butt on Tumblr. Take your 10 best pieces and throw them up there. And when somebody asks you, hey, do you have a portfolio that I can see? You give them that Tumblr, you give them that Art Station, or you give them that DeviantArt or that Instagram. You need to give them something to look at and keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing. Don't talk. Because again, you want your work to speak for itself, not you. So I hope that made some sense. I want to come off as harsh, but it was just I was floored. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the blues. So we got some cool colors here. I want to see, do I want to stay odd or even numbers with this cool colors here? So now we're going to start out with the C1, see what that looks like. Yeah, we'll go with this C1 here. Here. Yeah, like that. So I'm going to start off with the C1 here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way with this. I found drawing Pokemon is actually really fun. I started, what's the nice thing about, doing freelance art is I can do whatever the heck I want if I'm not doing, any other work. So I just draw what I want to draw and just have fun with it, which is really cool. And I decided, because I was thinking, I was like, man, what kind of characters do I want to draw on these artist tiles? Because I have a lot of, I'm drawing a bunch of pulp heroes and stuff like that. And something came to me where I saw some folks drawing some Pokemon. I'm like, you know what? I ain't drawn Pokemon in a while. But I didn't do it right away. I instead drew some Hello Kitty stuff. And so I started with that. That turned out very well. I actually like the Hello Kitty stuff. That's actually going to be a print soon. But again, I didn't have anything for these artist tiles. And I was like, man, what am I going to do for these artist tiles? And I was like, you know what? Pokemon. I can draw Pokemon. I reasonably like Pokemon. So I'm like, I could draw some stinking Pokemon and see if everyone else likes that. And I tell you, Pokemon are fun to draw. If I could say it, I would probably argue that they're probably some of the easiest characters to draw, because Pokemon in reality are just a bunch of shapes. They're round shapes, they're square shapes, they're all kinds of different shapes. So they're easy. At least for me, they're easy for me. But they're fun, and they're fun to draw. So that's what I'm doing. And I was like, you know what? I've never seen, most Pokemon are drawn in bright, vibrant colors. And I've always been intrigued by, the gray tones, how people could take the gray tones and make it, trick the brain of giving it the impression of it having color. And I had been messing with these for a while with gray tones. And so I'm like, what's a genre that hasn't had that treatment done to it? And I said, Pokemon. So that's what I'm messing with here. So I'm hoping that I do this justice. You see that there giving the. I feel bad for the folks here on the gram. Y'all gonna get next week. Y'all gonna be able to see me do some art. And in fact, for Instagram, I might just completely switch you guys over to just seeing the artwork there. For Graham, bring this up to show you guys where I'm at so far. Blastoise. Okay. So I got about 5 more minutes before I go ahead and take off for the night. Again, this podcast isn't nothing crazy long. I'm not sitting up here for hours and hours and hours. But what I do want to say is that I will be doing more streaming on Twitch because that is a dedicated art channel. The podcast is strictly for for this, but for me doing my artwork and everything, I am going to be doing more on Twitch. So once I figure out the frequency of how often I want to do it, you will see that more as well. So if you guys want to come over and watch me draw over there, you can, and I will announce that on my Instagram page to you guys when I'm ready, when I figure that out. Okay, because I need to get back to that streaming life. Because I used to stream a lot more on Twitch in the past, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I definitely want to get back to it. And since I am a full-time artist now, I need to have more of a presence. So doing that is necessary. So you guys see what I'm saying right here? If you're looking at it, Blastoise is a color of blue. He's blue, white, and a few browns. But I am strictly working with gray tones here, and so because of that, it gives the impression that there's actually colors there. Again, you folks on the gram can't see it. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys so you guys know what I'm talking about. So these are all 100% grays. Cool grays, tonal grays, warm grays. 100%. So I love that, how that illusion kind of, how it does that. I think it's really neat. Sometimes one of the biggest mistakes that you don't want to do when you're working with Copic markers, if anybody is ever doing this down the line, you got to make sure that your marker work dries before you put on the next coat. That gives you the contrast. That'll give you the contrast that you need. Too dope. This marker's already starting to die out. I need to go in and replace some of my nibs here. Like, legit go in, buy some new nibs, and kind of reinvigorate my marker collection here, because they fell on hard times. Hard times. Yeah, I think so. So, in a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and log off for the night. But I just wanted to say that if anybody here is listening to the podcast later on down the line, you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, don't be afraid to contact me on any of the platforms here, either on Instagram. You can contact me on Facebook. You can contact me on YouTube, and ask your questions. And if you have a question, I will answer that question for you to the best of my ability. In the next week's episode, I probably would like to do some straight tutorials to kind of give you guys how to do certain things. Maybe drawing a face or something like that. I'll probably take it to a vote over on Instagram. It's funny. I'm looking at this on another screen, and it looks all streaky. That's one thing about markers I don't like. I don't like the streaky look sometimes. Okay. So now, probably should have waited longer, but we're just gonna take that chance. Going in with the darker blue. Like this. If you guys find something on here that you like, please let me know. How this works tonight. I'm not drawing anything tonight for the giveaway. I'm just pretty much completing something tonight. But I will have a piece to give away. So if you listen to the podcast later and you leave me a comment on any one of the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, telling me what you appreciated and what you liked about the podcast, I will enter you in to win an original art piece from me that I have prepared. That's the way I like to say thank you to those who are supporting me and who appreciate my work. So just keep that in mind. And that winner will be revealed on next week's episode. If there's no winner, it automatically will go into my Etsy store. And it'll be up for grabs, for sale. Right. Blastoise looking good. He looking good. Accentuate his lips some more. I don't think anybody has done this with Blastoise like I'm doing right now, honestly. I haven't seen it. If they have, I'd love to see it. All right. Gonna go back in and smooth it out. I'm gonna go back with the C3. It takes away this streaky look to everything. Kind of just blends everything together nicely. And when you're doing blending, you kind of want to do it, while the marker's still wet, because it blends easier that way when you do it when it's wet. I'm still learning Copic. I'm honestly relearning Copics after not messing with them for quite a while. But once you understand how they work and how to navigate them, you can make some awesome art. And markers very easily become one of my favorite art mediums for sure, because of the stuff that I've been able to create from it. Okay. What's good, Alex? How you doing? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming in, bud. I'm gonna show it off of the gram again. You guys can't see the art. But this is a Blastoise in gray tones. Cool grays, warm grays that I'm working on. Cool, warms, tonal grays, neutral grays. Take a shell. I'm gonna go ahead and these claws. I'm gonna do some neutral gray here. Nails here. that. This is going to be, the shell and the claws are going to be pretty simple. I'm not going to do too much with those because I want to keep them simple. I don't want to make them too gray. So I'll wait for this to dry. Nice chill music. Love the chill vibes. Thanks, man. So it almost looks like Bowser. Yeah, I know, huh? The way I drew him, he does kind of look like Bowser. That's a dude I've never drawn before either. I could probably do that as well. Drawing some Bowser. Bowser! Man, you came in just in time, my dude. I was about to shut down a little bit. So you came in the nick of time, which is really good. Let's see here. I got one of these markers here that is dried out, which again is proving that I need to go. I got to replace the nib on it because it's all kinds of jank. So I'm going to go ahead and try to fill it. So anyone, see, y'all get to learn something every episode. These Copic markers are a great investment because they come with these refills here. The markers themselves and the refills themselves are about $7 a pop, but they pay for themselves pretty much instantly, which is nice. And you can use the inks not just on Copics, but you can also use. I've used them in desperate situations. I've used them on personal colors as well. As long as you match, especially with the gray tones. If you, what's up, Mouse and Kiki, Mouse and Kid? If you, look at that. If you get like a commission right after something like that, it's already paid for itself, which is cool. So I'm gonna wait a second here. Anybody have any questions or comments, anything they want to say or ask or anything in relation to art, or please go ahead and comment. Talk to me. I don't bite. I promise. Make sure you guys can hear me okay as well. Let me check out some of the stuff. I'm waiting on this to dry because I'm waiting on it to dry because I need to. I don't want it to muddy up everything. So doing these marker drawings is important. That sometimes you gotta wait for stuff to dry. Gotta wait for it to dry. While I'm waiting for it to dry, I'll go ahead and show it to y'all on the gram once again. So it's not finished yet, but these are gonna go in my Etsy shop. These artist tiles are gonna go in my Etsy shop, and I buy it, and they are for sale for. These artist tiles are $40 a pop. This is the Pikachu that I did earlier. All in gray tones. So everybody else, gray tones. All gray tones. And again, it's cool because I'm just like figuring out how to do it. This is a Green Ranger. This was actually going to be colored. That's why I didn't do anything with this one. That's going to be actually green. I don't know how to do green with gray tones. I'm not even going to attempt it. Alex, you asked, when did you begin drawing, man? So answer that question. I started drawing. I've been drawing ever since I was 7 years old. Also, what tips do you recommend for someone who's thinking about getting into drawing? Here's the wonderful thing about art, my dude. Art is a skill that I believe is a skill that absolutely anybody can learn if you have the patience and you have the willingness to practice. If you have those two things, anybody can learn how to draw. Anybody can learn how to paint. Anybody can learn any medium they want. I think art is one skill that everyone has the ability to possess if they put in the time to do it. If you're trying to start doing it, what I suggest is drawing from life first. That means going outside, drawing the simplest of objects, learning shapes. If you're just like a beginner learning how to draw shapes, learn your shapes. Draw every single day. Learn your shapes, because every single thing you draw is going to be a shape. If you can't draw shapes off the top of your head in every form, and not just flat, but I mean even three-dimensionally too, you're going to do that. Blastoise, he's just a big giant shape. That's a circle. That's an oval circle. This is a cylinder, or another ovals, cylinders, circles, cylinders, cones, triangles. You see what I'm saying? They're all just shapes. And as you're watching, you guys see all the various shapes there. So once you see those things, once you recognize those shapes, and you're able to just draw those automatically, you can do whatever you want. But again, it takes that time and that practice to do that. You'll draw from life, you know. And my recommendation when you're drawing, a lot of people draw with pencil. That's fine. I personally would recommend that you get yourself a little sketchbook and you get an ink pen. When you get an ink pen, you're going to be automatically teaching yourself how to be okay with making mistakes. Because once you make that mistake, that's it. You learn how to make do with that mistake. I know for sure when I start my art classes, that's what I'm going to have everybody doing. I'm going to have everybody sketching with using ink pens, because I want them to get confident with their lines, number one, and I want them to get used to making mistakes, and I want them to be able to get to be okay with making mistakes. Because once you're okay with making a mistake, it's easier to fix the mistake. Remember that. Once you're okay with making a mistake, it's easier to learn from it and to fix the mistake. So I'm not going to allow my students to draw with a pencil until they can train their eyes to be like, okay, I made a mistake, that's jacked up. Okay, so what can I do to change this? Because then once you go to pencil and you have the mindset of, okay, I messed up, so let me erase this, and then I can put this here. And it's fixed and it looks decent. It looks good. So that's my reasoning behind it. So there's some artists out there that's not going to agree with me. That's fine. Okay. And everybody learns a little differently as well. So when do you think would be a good time for an artist to transition to digital drawing? Everyone's a little different. I personally feel like you should have the basics of, you should know how to draw with a pencil and pen first. Once you have that down, you don't even have to be an amazing artist, I don't think. I just think you just need to have the basics of pen and pencil down. And once you have that, then you can decide if you want to transition to digital and try it out and see if that's something that you want to do. I know digital is more convenient. It's easier. Again, I will tell you, my students will not be doing digital right away. I think it's important to know your basic tools. Learn your basic tools, how to utilize them. So, then once you get a grasp and understand how, again, to make a mistake, and if you know how to fix that mistake, then you can go ahead and go there. So that, again, that's just me. There's going to be artists out there that don't agree. That's fine. It's okay. My way is not the only way. It isn't. I may act like it is, but it isn't. All right. I'm liking this Blastoise. Yeah, pencil, pen, paper. Pen and paper. I get a, black ballpoint pen. If you're serious about that, pen and paper, ink pen, and practice your shapes: triangles, squares, rectangles, cylinders, ovals. Get those shapes down. Get them down flat. Get them down 3-dimensionally. Because once you get those down, you're gonna. All the drawing is you combining those shapes together to create whatever it is that you want. A lot of people go straight in for the drawing. Go straight in for everything. No, baby steps, y'all. Come on, baby steps. Baby steps. Hurt. All right. I might end up finishing this thing. Can I finish it in 10 minutes? Because the latest I'm staying on here is for 60 minutes. I'm not going to stay here past an hour. I don't think I am because I gotta refill this nib too. These markers are dry. Well, dry. When I get done here, I need to fill those up. Fill these marker bit nibs up. Actually, I'm gonna do when I get off here. I'm gonna go take a shower. That looks good here. We're gonna shut that so that can hydrate some. This awesome shirt, by the way. It looks cool. Cram. Yeah, this is a shirt from a comedian, actually. One of my favorite comedians. This is one of his shirts here. Cram. That's what he says when a ram or some wild animal busts up into his buddy. Cram. All right. That's aggressive. Came in aggressive with this one. Aggressive. That's cool. So you see what I'm saying there? Right here. Boom. This is a mistake. This is way too dark to start out. The barrel of a gun. It's way too dark. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna take what I'm doing here. I already know how I'm gonna go about fixing the problem here. Just gonna continue on and not trip. Okay. Make the best of the situation, and then you'll see how it'll balance out when I'm done with it. So the neutrals are pretty dark. Okay, go in with this. The neutral. Automatically. Look at that. Done. These markers are so dry. They are so dry. What's this in for? Yeah, I gotta do a lot of. I gotta revive these markers. I got work to do. Let's see if I'm gonna be doing more of these gray tonal commissions. My marker stuff gotta be on point, y'all. Can't be creating up with mediocre materials. You heard me? Come on. I don't have an F4. I thought I did, but I don't. Man, well, that's on the list to buy. So, alternatives. Let's go with the tonal. It's a tonal gray. Just give me that gunmetal looking. That gunmetal, boy. So Blastoise is gonna kind of be done. This marker's dry. Dry. There we go. Very cool. Go around here like that. Yep. Looks good. Looks good. Blastoise ears are also dark here. So I'm going to darken those up as well. And also give him his eyes. Line 7. Yeah, it looks like I'm just here. Ooh, just a few more seconds. But I think I made it, y'all. Go in there with this warm 7. Brush it off with a warm 5 to get that brownish, dark brown color there. There we are. And there we have it. Now, Just going to put some finishing touches on it. But there's Blastoise. Right there. So this artist tile is going to go up in my Etsy shop. I'm going to put that up tomorrow. It's going to go in there along with, like I said, this Pikachu and some of the other artist tiles that I got. These are going for $40. So, yeah, I'm happy with how these turned out. How that turned out. So, like I said, I'm going to put the finishing touches on this outside of the stream, off stream, and we should be good. So, I want to say thank you guys so much for coming on the Chillin' Sketch tonight and joining me, watching me draw and do my thing. I appreciate it. And if you're on Instagram, if you're watching this on Instagram back, this is going to stay up in the IGTV, so you can go back and look at it whenever you like. Again, this is going to be a talking head, so for those of you on Instagram next week, I will be having some images down on the art. For you guys, I'm going to just do the straight art thing so that you guys can see what I'm doing. You ain't looking at my face the whole time. Everywhere else on Facebook, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, I'm going to have 2 cameras. You see my face and see me doing the art as well. So that's coming next week, though. In the meantime, please follow. If you're on YouTube, follow, ring, bell, notifications, all that stuff. If you're watching on Twitch, be sure to follow me, spread the word, spread the love. Let people know about me. Help me get more followers. I appreciate it. And follow my links on Instagram as well, ID Walker Art. Any question you have, I'm more than happy and willing to talk to you guys. Helps me get me some content too. So, it always helps out. So, again, thank you all so very much for joining me tonight. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you guys next Friday on Chillin' Sketch. Take care.